Hey everybody, how's it going? Christian from Treasure Town here, and today we're going to be doing a video that I've wanted to do for a long time. I've thought about it a fair amount, and I brainstormed. I first made the counterpart to this video, which has already been released, and that's my 10 most favorite coins. And when I do this video, I'm basically going to be focusing on US coin designs. But basically, I announced that I'd be doing this, and there would also be a major twist. So I'm going to talk about the 10 coin designs that I feel could have been quite a lot better. And to back that up and kind of showcase some of the cool American coinage that really never was, I'm going to talk about some pattern coins that I think would be crazy designs that could go on them instead and would make for a much more interesting and aesthetically appealing American coinage. So let's get into it with my 10th least favorite coin next. Coming in at number 10 is going to be, and this might be kind of controversial because I know a lot of people like it, but the peace dollar. I feel like the peace dollar is a solid design, it's interesting, it's cool, but it's a little bit lackluster, especially when you compare it with some of the issues that surround it, like the older big dollars, the trade dollar, and especially the Morgan dollar. The Morgan dollar ran for probably like 25 years, and there were some really intricate designs, but also varieties. There's a few of the ones on the VAMs, but it's just not as interesting and historic when you think of the classic American silver dollar. The peace dollar doesn't quite make it. They're also kind of immune. There are only a few with toning, so that's an aspect of the Morgans that I really like, and they just don't feel as solidly struck. And the coin that I would replace it with is the Judd 940. I'm going to have to look down and get the numbers because I can't always remember. But it's a really cool coin, and I'm going to show them as I talk about them. This coin is a pattern coin originally intended for the 50-cent denomination, but I think they would adapt really nicely to a $1 coin. I love on the obverse the ribbon that says "In God We Trust." I think it just kind of adds some depth to the coin. I think that would be a better counterpart to the peace dollar if it had ran from those times. Number 9 is kind of a strange choice, but in terms of the pattern, the Franklin half dollar though is one that I've always said I really didn't love. I think it's a solid coin, but there's just not too much mystery with it. There aren't any key dates. There's a few, like the Bugs Bunny, there's a few errors, but nothing really special. And the real thing that designates a special one is if there's full bell lines or not. Well, that's cool. It's just kind of a sharp strike, and it doesn't quite have the intrigue that some of the other coins do. Now, there's one, I'll get the number, Judd 242, that is pretty interesting. I think it's very different from most of the coins that we've seen, and it's toned in the pattern coin that I am getting the photo from. But I think if you adapted that and you had, I kind of like the 50 cents on the back, just how it's kind of simple, and then the front shows somebody unlike anybody really featured on any of the American coinage. So I think some of that variety would be cool, and I really like the idea of having some of our coins, even if they're 50 years old, but maybe ones even that are going today, having some of the classic designs evocative of the earliest types of emblems of liberty and that sort of thing. Now, I'm not exactly sure of the name for number 8, but the coin that I would be replacing is our current circulating Jefferson nickel with Jefferson facing towards us. I want to say it was 2009, but it actually could have been like 2006 or 7. I should know that better, but where Jefferson's facing us, I just don't think that they're great coins. I know that there's that one day, I want to say 2009, where they're a little bit more rare, but it really just doesn't look like a great coin. And I think a great replacement would be Judd 1724. That would be a huge spicing up of our coinage, as there's literally a hole in the middle of the cent. That would remind us of like Danish or Chinese coinage, just something totally different. And I think that would be welcome because we still have a few figures. This one maybe could be a counterpart, circulating alongside the Jefferson or replacing it entirely would really shake things up. I think that would be fun to see and get some buzz going around the modern coins that we're using in circulation. This one, though, has never been really tried in the history of United States coins. Now, coming in at number 7 is a coin that I really promoted in a different design in my earlier one. I'm a huge fan of the Barber half dollar, but I think when you compress that design down to the Barber Dime, you really lose some of the special elements that make it a really cool coin. So that would be the coin that I'd replace, and there's a perfect candidate for it, and that is the Judd 1589. Now this is a Morgan dollar type. It's similar to the Morgan dollar, but we would have had that obverse really crunched down, and then you'd have on the back one dime. It would be pretty interesting to have that, and it reminds me of some of these small fractional rounds that I've seen of silver where they've got the Morgan design, and I just think that that would be a way to honor what is one of my favorite coins, the Morgan silver dollar, while having an interesting dime reverse that's really dissimilar from most of the coins that were circulating at the time. Now, in the future, I'm definitely probably going to do a top 12 pattern coins, and this one is sure to make the list. Hopefully, I'll not make it number one so that you guys don't have the video spoiled, but I'd replace the V-nickel. I never really liked it that much. I thought it was okay, but it's not as much as the V-nickel being terrible here, as there was an awesome design that was proposed that did not make the cut, and that is Judd 561. The front of the coin, I think, is a better looking coin than the one that ended up being put into circulation, but the back is just gorgeous. It's a great design. Probably still would have been called the V-nickel, but it's just a more enhanced design, in my opinion, that looks great and would have been a good replacement. I think the confusion with the cents on the 1883 isn't great. A lot of these nickel coins have worn away, and I'm not sure if this would have been a problem, but maybe it almost looks like the date might not have worn away quite as badly. But regardless, that would be my pick to replace that, the number 6 least favorite coin. And coming in at number 5 is the shield nickel. So a little hate here on the early American nickels, but I do not really love the shield nickel design either. And I think, and this kind of contradicts my last point about my number 6 being my least favorite design, but I think that it's more of a reworking rather than anything else that would be best for this coin, and it's a reworking of the V-nickel. So basically, United States of America gets shifted to the front, and then the back has a lot less in terms of wording going around the back saying United States of America. So this is the one that I prefer, and because you shift it to the front, I just think it's a more elegant design. Obviously, you'd have to replace the 3 with a V, but I'd also not be opposed for copper 5-cent coins. I don't know if any of you guys have ever thought that. I know it's antithetical, I guess, to the idea that it's a nickel, because now we're going to be making it out of copper, but that's just what I think. I think that some crisp copper coins that were worth 5 cents could have been cool. I doubt that that would have really flown, though, back then, especially when there was still concern over, is the silver content in the coin. That's not something that we really think about today. Now, in terms of my number 4 least favorite design, I think I really like the concept of having the 20-cent coin, but I feel like if you're going to make a cool new denomination like that, you got to go big and put out a crazy design for it. So the coin that we have today is just really similar to the seeded coins that were kind of going on at that time. And the coin I'm just reading off here is the Judd 305, and it is wild. It says God and our country, and it's a 2-cent pattern, but obviously you could adapt that to the 20-cent coin, but just totally different from what we had, and I think that that's a big theme. Maybe it's just the novelty, and we'd be looking at these coins as hideous in hindsight once they're all circulated and worn and everything, but I think that this is a cool pattern coin, and again, for 4 or 5 years to just go wild and do a crazy design, I don't think that that would have been a bad idea. Now, my last 3 coins that I'm going to call my 3 most least favorite coins, I guess, or most disliked coins, would be coins that I really don't think are great designs. And number 3 is going to be the Sacagawea Dollar. I think that maybe it would have been fine for a 1-year issue, but they continued to do it, and it really just doesn't come through with the gold color. I don't think that that looks good. It's kind of confusing for new people who are thinking, oh, it's these gold dollars, and I really don't think that their program was executed that well. And I think what would have been really interesting would be to go for a huge throwback. This pattern coin was released in 1838, so it would have been, again, tying in with the theme of bringing the old designs on our coins long ago to the new, and that would have been the pattern Judd 72. So obviously a low number there, really early proposal, but I just think that it's an elegant coin. It's kind of similar to the coins that were the cent design at the time, but I think that if we adopted it to a modern coin, you'd have to get the kind of detail to produce, you'd have to strike these well. It wouldn't be these light strikes that you see on the new coins today, and I think that that could have kicked off a much more successful effort to have people using the $1 coin. That's a debate for another video, but I would personally be in favor of having $1 coins be a regular part of circulation, and to adopt this to a smaller surface, a smaller planchet, I think could go well, and you'd retain some of the depth and the nice design in the coin that we see. Or it could just be kind of toner goggles, making me think that this is a much better looking coin than it really is in terms of seeing this pattern photo, but I'm a big fan of this one and hope you guys are too. And my number 2 least favorite coin is going to be the shield cent. This one I think is a lot of people's least favorite coin. I've heard this before, and it's definitely true in my opinion that it is just not a great coin. They could have done some other interesting things, and instead the shield cent seems just bland, not that good. Why even make it? You know, we're spending a lot of money to make these coins. What I think could have been crazy, again, this would not be the first hold coin that I'm a proponent of here, but I think it was 1851 they made these coins that said 1/10 silver. They were hold, just very different. The Judd 127 pattern is the one that I'm referring to here. Now today, for the metal value, you'd probably have to say something like 1/10 copper, because we're doing like 1/40th copper in our current pennies. But to just go a little crazy with our coins, I think that would be fun. Just to see these out on the streets circulating would be crazy, and something that I would look forward to. Though again, don't think that it's, you know, this is probably my least reasonable proposal for any of the ones out there. And my least favorite design is, and I hate to kind of bemoan the new efforts that are being put out by the US Mint, but I'm not a fan of the America the Beautiful quarters. I think that the state program was awesome. I think it was cool to commemorate the states in that way, but I think it would have helped to go to either just tons and tons of different types of coins like the British Royal Mint, whatever it's called, is putting out that are collectible, or to revert to something classic, and that's the one that I'm going to advocate on the behalf of with the Wash Lady design. This 1879 pattern coin I think is an awesome fit for the quarter. It looks like a Morgan design, but it's Judd 1590, and I think that, you know, it's similar enough to some of our classic coinage where it would be cool to have that, but it's also just a Liberty emblem, something that we really don't get to see anymore. Now it's all commemorative figures on our coins, and I think those could change, but there's just not patterns of people. That would be another interesting video, people that I think should be on the currency of today, instead of going back to patterns, looking forward at some of our main founders and how to make the currency, you know, if there's any good shifts or people that have been on for a little too long that we could replace. So I know there's a little bit of talks about that with the $20 bill, but I kind of have some more ideas there. But yeah, the America the Beautiful, I just don't think that they've met the same success, the same collectability. I think the original States Quarters program did get a lot of people into collecting. One of the first folders that I ever did, I think it was that and a circulating pennies folder that kind of got me into it long ago, and I don't think that the America the Beautiful has the recognition and has the same effect as just the straight up States Quarters. So with that being said, I think that this one would be a good one to replace it. So as I'm kind of making this video, I'm definitely thinking long term, thinking about that top pattern coins, and thinking about that, what would I do if I controlled the mint. But thanks for watching the video, and let me know what your least favorite coins are. It'd be interesting. I didn't really go after any of the foreign currencies because I think that there are a lot that aren't great. I remember I shouted out some of my favorite foreign currencies in an honorable mention section before, but hope that you enjoyed, and again, I'd be curious to see if you share or disagree with some of my opinions. Thanks for watching the video. I'd encourage you to like, comment, and subscribe, and if you want to get in touch with me, do so on my website, treasuretownYT.com, my Instagram, treasuretownYT, or my Facebook, Treasuretown. I've got links in the description, and I'll see you on some of my other videos.